Hi. I'll bring the other bowl over in a minute. Good morning, buddy. Good morning. Everybody did survive the fireworks last night. It got loud here for about an hour. And then on and off. I even heard some after midnight, which I didn't appreciate. They weren't super close, thank goodness. I filmed today, so I'll walk the second bowl back over. It's cloudy. One smidge less thick, but still plenty thick. Good morning. Hey, buddy. How are ya? You good? That's my bud. Well, those early morning clouds have burned off, and here comes the sun. Oh, joy. We have a little bit higher risk of showers today than yesterday. I'm glad they held off for the 4th. Although Holly Springs shoots their fireworks off tonight, so I don't want that to get spoiled. There you are. Hi. Hi. Are you a good girl? Your clip yesterday was upside down and it didn't make the video. But you're here and you're doing good. It happens every once in a while. There's my good girl. When we were ordering the computer yesterday, she was here, I was here, Johnny was over there. She was getting big spoils. Don and I are out here on our walk, and I guess at the moment I'm feeling mostly relieved. As I said in yesterday's video, Johnny and I happily ordered his laptop from Lenovo for school this fall. And what happened afterwards was, I guess not too unexpected, but somebody tried to call me to make sure the charge wasn't a fraud, and I didn't pick up my phone because I didn't recognize the number, or I didn't even hear it when it went off, or any number of reasons. And then we were eating dinner and watching Star Trek Voyager and enjoying ourselves and in a good mood, and I realized I had an email asking me if the charge was a fraud, was a valid charge or not. And knowing that you shouldn't click on emails and stuff, I didn't do that. And it had, everything's okay. Let me just stop right there. And the main thing I want to say is, if you can avoid purchases on national holidays, that might be a good idea, because remember, you can't talk to your bank, possibly our credit union. We couldn't talk to them yesterday. There was nobody working. If you have a lost or stolen card, you call the number and they turn your card off, but you don't talk to a person, I guess, until the next morning. So anyway, so I ended up calling the number in the email, and I answered the questions that they asked of me, and then I got really upset that I answered them. And Don and I did a lot of research, and we were pretty sure that it was a legitimate phone number that I called and all this good stuff. And I just talked to our credit union, and that number that they sent is basically, it's a clearinghouse for fraud that all the credit unions use. And yes, it was a legitimate number, and it was okay that I answered that guy's questions, but it seemed like answering the questions last night was more worrisome than anything that could have possibly been a fraud on that card at the time. So I don't know. Again, my advice is think twice about making a large purchase on a holiday when you cannot talk to your financial institution because it's a holiday. Just wait one day if you can. I could have waited till today to do it. Had I known it would cause trouble, I would have waited till today. But I talked to a real body at the credit union, and all is good. And I don't know, the thing is all these credit unions around the country had that number listed as, yes, that's a fraud, people calling you to verify info that everything is okay. The number is 866-518-0213. But our credit union didn't have that number anywhere on any of their web pages. I mean, it would have been so simple. Yeah, these are the people we use to verify transactions on credit cards, and you should talk to them if they call you. Or, you know, we're not going to cancel the transaction and wait until you can talk to us the next day. Or, I'm probably going to fire off an email to the credit union, because it really would have been as simple as me finding a legitimate coastal web page while signed into my credit union account that would have told me that that number was okay to talk to, or an official way on their web page to say it after I'd logged into my account that the transaction was okay. So anyway, nothing like a little extra stress on the 4th of July for me and Dawn, but you know, Dawn always handles everything.
Goes downhill.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, besides the fraud alert yesterday, this morning we learned that pretty big fireworks display in Knightdale. When we head to Rocky Mount, we're basically going near Knightdale out US 64 East. About 15 minutes into the show last night, somebody apparently set off a fountain firework in the middle of the crowd. And either someone intentionally yelled that someone had a firearm, or people just assumed the sound was that. I don't, you know, obviously I wasn't there. I have an account from someone that I'm friends with who was there last night. And then I read the news account. They're calling it a prank, which to me implies you set it off and you said some things to make people fear. But anyway, it caused a panic of people running to try to get away from the problem. And the fireworks show was still going on, and my friend got separated from her child, and her child lost her phone, but some good Samaritans helped her reunite with her mother. Anyway, it sounded really scary when a bunch of people in a large crowd take off in a panic to try to, because they're afraid to try to save their life. That gets pretty unsafe pretty quick. So I was feeling really good about where we sat for our local fireworks display. Outside of the main park crowd, vehicle set to get out quick, easy walk back to the vehicle, you know, plus we could have walked home from there. I don't know, it just really, large crowds are, most of the time they're fine and sometimes they're not. So that's a real sadness that happened in Knightdale, and I hope they're able to pinpoint the people that did it so they can be held accountable for doing that. There were no reported injuries, so that's a blessing. It's very hot out here. We're just kind of putting one foot in front of the other. Don't stop, stay in the shady part, keep going. It's not a nice, relaxing, calm, this feels great walk by any stretch.
It just feels really warm.
Yeah. So you guys know that we often stop at Sheetz supercharger locations in North Carolina. That's a gas chain that's in our state. I don't think it's countrywide, but certainly in the southeast you're going to find Sheet. There's also Circle K and Speedway and some others, off brands versus, you know, some real brands. Anyway, Sheetz had this grand idea for the 4th of July to sell gas for $1.77 a gallon. And I guess, I don't know what that's probably close to half of what the current price is here. The current price here, I'm just guessing, is like $3.50.
Yeah, it's probably $1.77.6.
Oh, 1776. That makes sense. Nobody said that, but that's probably right. And anyway, you know, as I do at night for entertainment and to keep apprised of local things, I found out this on Facebook, and I also heard feedback on Facebook. And I guess when people can save $20 a gallon filling up their tank, thank you, Donnie, a tank, filling up their car, they're willing to wait in line, and I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, apparently $20 a tank on average was enough to cause people to be there at midnight, right when it started, or come during the day to bring multiple vehicles. And apparently it was a zoo. And there were definitely some moments where it got a little testy about people cutting in line, not waiting in line or stuff. I'm like, now look, I like saving $20. If I didn't care about saving money, I wouldn't fill out the Google surveys or take pictures of my receipts and send them to Amazon, or shop at the thrift store. I used anything, you know, secondhand, you know. So obviously I care. And that factors in on several levels. You know, the thrift store is also keeping things out of the landfill and less trash to begin with, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know, that seems dangerous to me, to put yourself in a situation where people are that hyped up to say. It's kind of like, you know, I used to do the Black Friday thing, and where I was always okay, but you would hear about these places where it went horribly wrong. You know, the store had 1 or 2 of those loss leader items, and people were basically willing to hurt each other over them. So, I don't know. Did you guys have any gas stations near you that did that? Hear about it in the news, a special promotion or something over the 4th of July that drew an undisciplined crowd? I mean, the one person said, did you see what people did during COVID? About this, that, or the other? Are you really surprised that people were cutting in line and causing problems at the gas station? That was one of the comments. So I guess, I don't know. But I didn't ever tell Dawn, because even if the GMC, the van, or the generator could have used fuel, I didn't think it was safe.
Yeah. Well,
everything that I heard about it said it wasn't safe to go over there anyway. What were you going to say?
Well, I just always go back. I knew that I was a wealthy man when I would buy a trash bag and just throw it away. Those things are like 25 cents a piece, and I've thrown every one I've ever bought away. I just don't quite follow that.
I'm snickering because I've heard this one before. It kills him when he takes the recyclables out to the bigger bin and dumps them, that we can't reuse that bag. It really, it causes him pain. Well, my mom and dad, you know, Dawn and I's age is a little different, but I grew up with my grandmother and to my parents to a certain extent, talking about stuff that was either during the Depression or post-Depression, and so I'm not too far removed from it to understand it. But yeah, I don't know. And then there was all the comments as well, they could afford to do that for one day, why can't they afford to do it all the time? And where did the money come if it costs so much every day that, you know, it could cost this little other days? And the whole conversation on Facebook wasn't sounding so good either.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah, thankfully we weren't traveling in North Carolina and trying to supercharge the sheets yesterday, because I bet that would have been a disaster of blocked pumps, of people waiting to pull into the gas pumps and stuff. So I guess I would encourage businesses not to do that. I guess when you only take off 5 cents every, you know, give your people a break a little bit some other way. It's not this grand savings, but just give people a fair shake every day and avoid the drama. I had Dawn bring me to Harris Teeter. I got a few things since I didn't go to Whole Foods this week. Well, Walmart put some more Lego on sale. That's $30 off. That's a good deal. I'm assuming that's our white Model Y up there, but in this parking lot, who knows? I see Don in the car, or I see a person in the car. I'm sure he'll come in a minute. I sent him already. I scored big on Midnight Silver Metallic Ys, and hey, that's the default color now. Here comes Don. Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart.
Don said he had his sunshade up, his podcast on.
And took a nap.
And took a nap. He never minds really waiting for me. And since, you know, you can have the AC going.
Oh, yeah.
In the electric car with no gasoline burning, might as well enjoy it.
Yeah.
I found my heavy whipping cream at Walmart. I found all those Tesla cars. There was a couple other things I went in to get that I found. So it's all good. I told Dawn, I said, tomorrow night when it's Taekwondo, it's the Triangle Tesla owners every other week phone call, and the guys don't like it when I go to Walmart and don't dial into the call. So now I got Walmart knocked out. The Harris Teeter was a must. Walmart was a nice to get handled. So Don's doing a hit to the house. He waited until now because he wanted to take the weight vest to the park but not do a hit with the weight vest on. And this was just a convenient time. It just worked out good for us. Let me drive home and blah blah. So poor Donnie. We ate some watermelon last night and he's trying to sort things out after the watermelon. I'm gonna work on my house even though I had to order some stuff. There's plenty still to do. So, and I do have a couple of other little things I might do. We'll just see. It's 2:45. Don's got up the Tour de France and is taking a real nap. He really likes the Tour de France. And, you know, I just get to fool with my Legos for a bit. We've got a severe thunderstorm. I think Tux is under the window because he's not on his platform. Yeah, it's coming down in sheets. Blown all in on Panther's porch. I'm sure Panther's inside the gas grill and I'm gonna leave him be. Either that or he's under the front porch. Darn. We've had at least another half an inch, maybe two. I mean, maybe a whole inch, 2 halves. You can see how wet the grassy area is there. It's puddled up here underneath the chairs too. Hey, sweetie. Tux is under the bench. Must have come out from under the window. It's still raining, but not too heavy. Woo! 1 inch and just about 2/10. It's okay, guys. Here, you come up at your spot and I'll take him inside with me for a minute. Well, I got a chicken to debone for kitties and dinner to cook. These guys came in to check out the food bowls. Marty let me know he didn't really appreciate all that rain. He came in a little wet. And they're all doing good. Tux is up on his platform. Panther's waiting for me to come feed him. I did see Morris this afternoon, so not since it stopped raining, but just a little while ago. I think everybody's doing fine. You gonna help me cook dinner? Is that what you're gonna do nighttime? Nighttime. She goes, I'm sleepy, Mom. I'll keep you company, but I'm sleepy. I've made a broccoli cheese hamburger. Well, it's got onion and garlic, egg. You know, my casserole, I just used hamburger instead of sausage this time, and we figured out how to turn off the fan because when the fan runs, it's really loud. But otherwise, it seems to be doing good. My bowl just fits. And, yeah, I've got the teriyaki pork loin in the big oven.